Marvel Rivals has taken a lot of risks redesigning a lot of these iconic Marvel characters' skins, and some of them have been good, while some have definitely been pretty bad. But today I want to talk about some Marvel Rivals skins that are not only good, but are better redesigns than the original comic and movie suits it took inspiration from. And the first skin I want to start off with, which is the reason why I'm making this whole video, is Daredevil's 2099 suit, which is absolutely amazing. With these glowing horns and the glowing chest symbol, this design is absolutely amazing. So amazing, I bet you didn't even know that Daredevil had a 2099 suit, because I personally thought that this 2099 suit was completely original to Marvel Rivals, but Daredevil actually had a 2099 suit in the comics, which is kind of a whatever suit in my opinion. It's just a typical Daredevil look, but he just has armor plating on this suit, and this whole suit is just pretty much metal rather than the usual material he has on his regular suit. And Daredevil also has this black 2099 suit, which looks better than the original, but doesn't really compare to this Marvel Rivals 2099 suit, because this Marvel Rivals redesign is just perfect and perfectly fits into this 2099 style without being too complicated or too over designed. And I think Marvel Rivals just generally cooks with a lot of their 2099 skins, with all of the 2099 suits looking honestly amazing, with Punisher 2099, Angela 2099, and Spider-Punk 2099 all having so much aura. Like, Punisher definitely had the biggest upgrade from his comic 2099 suits, while the other two suits are completely original to this game. Since even though we have seen an OG Spider-Man 2099 suit, we have never seen a Spider-Punk 2099 suit. And I know a lot of these 2099 suits look more like Cyberpunk suits than the original Spider-Man 2099 suit, since these suits are a lot more high-tech, but I think these suits leaning into the Cyberpunk aesthetic just makes these redesigns so much better than the original. And I would say out of all these 2099 suits, Daredevil definitely has the best one, and might have one of the best redesigns in all of Marvel Rivals. But I would say Marvel Rivals is just really good at making these gimmick suits in general, and also improving them to fit their style, and just improving them in general. Since just like the 2099 suits, they understand what makes a good suit, and what really fits the aesthetic, the same way they do with the symbiote suit. Since a lot of these symbiote suits are absolutely amazing, with the Venom suits having a noticeable impact on the character's design, but not too much of a big impact where the suit just looks like Venom, but you know, in a different size. Since a lot in the comics, when someone gets a Venom symbiote, they just look like Venom, but in the shape of the hero or the villain, which in my opinion is kind of lame, and I kind of like it where the symbiote kind of takes more of the traits of the hero or the villain and just doesn't look like Venom light, because Marvel Rivals really doesn't have this Venom looking problem, and instead the symbiote suits just enhance these characters' designs, like Storm having this flesh cape, which is super horrifying and such a cool concept at the same time, or to Rocket Raccoon having this symbiote mouth around his neck to act as a collar for his suit, are all just cool ways to use the symbiote in a unique way to make all of these heroes not lose their identity when they put on this Venom symbiote. And there are so many other good Venom symbiote designs like Jeff's and Loki's, which aren't huge changes from the original look, but just make small tweaks and changes to make them fit better into this Marvel Rivals style, and to kind of, you know, fit into this over-the-top universe. And then there are some Marvel Rivals skins that take already good comic looks or movie looks and just make them better in super small ways. Like when Storm becomes a God of Thunder and changes her hair to blue, which I personally think is a big improvement from her original look. Since most of the time when she gets Mjolnir, she keeps her white hair, but I just think the blue fits better with this look since she's already wearing silver all over, so having blue hair helps contrast the silver. But I also love the idea that because she has Mjolnir, it supercharges her so much that her hair changes color, which is just such a cool concept that makes me love this redesign. But another great redesign is Invisible Woman's Malice skin, which if you look at how it looks in the comics, which is definitely very out there and doesn't really feel like an evil look, more like she's about to dominate someone. While in Marvel Rivals, the Malice skin is more of a crazier look with her hair sticking out of her, I don't know what you want to call this, bandages, and her eyes being red, which I think fits more into this crazy aesthetic than the original comic book did. Also, I have to mention Thor because, you know, he is the king of getting skins and just getting really amazing redesigns for his comic skins, with all of them being pretty perfect or even better than the original, like the Lord of Asgard skin, which is the first time ever where Marvel Rivals fixes a comic book design by making it less over designed, which is pretty surprising since a lot of Marvel Rivals suits are pretty over designed as well, and you know, that is a big complaint most people have, because since the original comic Lord of Asgard skin has way too much going on with this Thor skin, and this Marvel Rivals version just fixes a lot of these over designed issues and just streamlines this suit even more and gives them an even better helmet than he has in the comics. But another comic skin that I honestly think they cooked with is Spider-Man's Future Foundation suits, which I know the Future Foundation suit is super cool and it's super beloved, and I also really like the comic version. But the reason reason why I like this suit so much, because they gave it more of a tech feel that fits more into the Future Foundation suits. And I don't know if I want to say it's better than the original, but I would definitely give it an honorable mention because they did a really good job at redesigning the suits. But I can't say the same for the rest of the Future Foundation for the Fantastic Four, since I feel like they went a little too over the top with some of these redesigns, especially Mr. Fantastic's Future Foundation suit, which for me feels like they kind of hit the mark and missed with this redesign. But even though I've been talking about a lot of comic skins, I have to talk about some of the movie skins as well that feel like they work better in Marvel Rivals than they do in the movies. The first one that comes to mind is the Doctor Strange skin in the Multiverse of Madness, which it definitely looks pretty cool in the movie, but I think that the art style for Marvel Rivals makes this version just a little bit better by giving the cape more of a red glow look and making the souls on the cape feel more alive. And plus, we get to look at it way more playing this game than we did in the Multiverse of Madness movie because it was on screen for like 5 minutes in that movie. And I think a lot of the over-designed MCU suits look pretty good in this game as well, like Thor's Love of Thunder suit, which still doesn't look that amazing, but at least it looks a little tolerable in this game, which is saying something at least positive about this suit because it is probably Thor's worst suits. And even though I am a fan of the Iron Spider-Man suits in the MCU, I know a lot of people like this version of Marvel Rivals Iron Spider-Man suit than they do in the original MCU suits, mainly because of the art style. But even though I have only been talking about alternative skins for Marvel Rival suits, they also do cook with redesigning the original heroes' base outfits, like making Thor and Angela super buff since, you know, they are gods after all, to also making the Fantastic Four also feeling super unique and comic accurate. But my favorite base redesign out of all of these heroes, and surprisingly it's not a hero, it's a villain, will always be Ultron's redesign, with them taking inspiration from both the MCU look and the comic look and molding it perfectly into this Marvel Rivals version. And even though I don't rock the base design that much, since I usually wear the skin with a golden cape, I do still really like this base design, and I'm still praying that we get that Infinity Ultron to release in Marvel Rivals as a skin, because I am a Lord Ultron after all. But don't get me wrong, even though Marvel Rivals does usually cook with most of the redesigns, and most of the risk they do take with these skins do end up working, like making Namor look more Dominican in his X-Men suit, and making Old Man Hawkeye look more put together in his scavenger look than how he does in the comics, they sometimes do mess up with some of these redesigns, and I'm not afraid to say that. Like, I know most people have already forgotten how much people hated this Wolverine redesign when it first came out, as well as how much they hated the Iron Fist design, since it wasn't the original Danny Rand Iron Fist that most people knew. And don't even get me started with how bad they did Joe Fixit in this game. Like, they just completely massacred my boy. Like, why does he have so much tech on his face and his arms? They should have just adapted Joe Fixit straight from the comics. Everyone would have loved that suit, just like how they did Superior Iron Man from the comics. And I know a lot of people also hate the Age of Venom design and the white Iron Fist suits because, you know, they don't look like they're ripped straight out of the comics, but I think I have a bigger issue with Joe Fixit because, you know, I'm a big Hulk fan, and I think Joe Fixit is a cool character, and is why I feel more passionate about Joe Fixit than some of these other misses for these Marvel Rivals redesigns, which is surprising that they take these big risks, since if you look back at Marvel Rivals alternative skins in Season 0, Marvel Rivals didn't drastically redesign these skins like how they do nowadays, since most of them just look like they're ripped straight out of the comics, and if they had changes, it was super minor things, like Worldbreaker Hulk skin, classic Skylock skin, Superior Iron Man skin, and most of the comic skins were pretty accurate. And it wasn't until Season 2, when Emma came out, where the skins had pretty drastic redesigns with Joe Fixit and Iron Fist. And nowadays, they do more original skins than ever before, which shows that they're definitely more confident in creating brand new skins than ever before. And I can't lie, some of these original skins are pretty heat, like the Noel Hella skin and the Phoenix Force Magic skin, but we still get sprinkles of classic hero suits that I'll always love and I'll always welcome when they're released, like Captain America's classic suit and the classic Phoenix suit, which is all pretty heat. And even Maestro is looking pretty good as well, but I don't think it's as good as original, but I do love how the metal breaks off when he turns into Monster Hulk form. But let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite Marvel Rivals redesign, because I know a lot of people would disagree with some of my takes, because after all, it is just my opinion. But personally, I would say Daredevil's 2099 suit is my favorite redesign of all time in Marvel Rivals, but I would love to hear your favorite redesign down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later, hater. Peace.